So, what is Overwatch? Well, Overwatch was a great and amazing game. Now, on to the topic of the video. What is Overwatch 2? Well, Overwatch 2 is a free-to-play team-based action game set in an optimistic future, where every match is the ultimate 6v6, 5v5 battlefield brawl. Featuring iconic heroes such as McCree. What's that? Oh. Oh no. He what? Seriously? The Cosby suit? He's called Cassidy now? Okay, featuring iconic heroes such as Cassidy, May, who was removed because they broke the game, Kiriko, who was fixed because they broke the game, Ana, who was also fixed because they broke the game, and Bastion, who was removed because they broke the game, and Diva, who has broken the game probably 5 times at this point. That's just since Overwatch 2 released, mind you. This isn't a long-standing issue, though it has been with Diva. All of these are from release to now, and some of them took from release until now to actually, put the characters back in the game. Even though they're selling skins in the shop for characters you can't currently play. Lovely. So you can play as one of the 3 classes: tank, damage or DPS, and punching bag. Overwatch 2 is free to play, meaning anyone can pick it up and download it, with some added benefits and annoyances if you're integrating from Overwatch 1. Now, why am I doing this, and why has it already been done to death? Well, Overwatch was essentially the same game, just with some negligibly worse, or better as far as lighting goes admittedly, shout out to the fact that you could just flashbang yourself, engine that the game was running on. As the game engine has some key differences, updates, looks a bit cleaner in some aspects, looks kind of like a cash grab in other aspects. Yeah, that's kind of the entire game. But there are also some other key differences that Overwatch had, which was loot boxes, the ability to easily earn currency for free to buy the skins, and quality skins to buy that rotated through the Overwatch shop, or just per character since we didn't really have a shop back then. Overwatch 2 has removed the loot box mechanic entirely, which is actually a horrible change because there's no way to earn skins for free now. Unless you count the Battle Pass, which costs money by the way. Or if you're willing to grind for 8 months for a single legendary skin, of which, keep in mind, the majority of them are lower quality, unless you want to buy the Battle Pass, which isn't free, but that's where you'll get most of the quality skins they released. Fun! And if you constantly do weekly challenges every single week for 8 months, that gives you 1 legendary skin. You wanna know what it took to get a legendary skin in Overwatch 1? Oh hey, legendary. Oh yeah, there's also a quote-unquote glitch that occurs if you click the purchase button twice too quickly, because unlike the animation delay showing you purchased it, the button wasn't coded with a delay. This may be fixed, but at the time making this video, it was not. Meaning that you not only have a very limited currency from the first game, and limited skins to buy it on, or spend it on, predominantly old skins, or the worst of the new skins. No kidding. They literally excluded the best of the new skins in the new currency. I'm not making this up. They recognize that they have some lower tier skins and some higher tier skins. Anyways, back to the topic. There's a chance that you might double click and spend twice the amount. They lowered the price for the original currency to spend on skins, meaning anyone who purchased stuff before they lowered it are essentially cheated out of that already diminishing currency. Unless you're a whale with thousands upon thousands of credits, of which you're probably not too chuffed over that. So, they made it pay to customize. So what? Their games like Warframe, Modern Warfare and such do that. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is everyone who paid in the first game and everyone who played the first game are essentially being punished for no other reason than Blizzard wants their old moneymaker back. So they removed the first game. That's right. Removed. Gonzo. Bozo is dead so. You cannot access the first game, and even if you could, Blizzard has no service for it. So for the time being, you're best off using the arcade or custom games to emulate the feeling of Overwatch 1. Now, what did they change in their game? Because this will be a predominantly Overwatch 2 video, I'm not going to cover the basics. I'm also mainly going to cover the start to launch changes, so I won't get too technical, otherwise there might be a few updates behind. For example, as of the release of this video, they nerfed Genji, Sombra, and a couple other characters I don't really care about, except for Sojourn. Because Sojourn is difficult to combat at higher skill levels, but not lower skill levels, so they just kind of didn't nerf them. Yeah, it's not really a good counter pick to Sojourn, at least not one that's easily countered. Widow mains, I both hate them and I feel bad for them. So, what were the changes? Well, one, players retain up to 30% of their ultimate charge when switching to a different hero. All damage heroes now gain a 25% movement and reload speed buff for 2.5 seconds whenever they eliminate an enemy player. It doesn't stack but will refresh upon additional eliminations while it's active. All tanks now have 30% knockback resistance and provide 50% less ultimate charge damage. All supports now heal 15 HP per second after not being damaged for 1.5 seconds, unless you're Zenyatta. All forms of extra health from abilities, for example, Brigitte, I'll call her Brigitte. Brigitte's Inspire or Lucio Sound Barrier are now overhealth, green, instead of armor or shield health, which means that any damage dealt to this overhealth reduces your ultimate charge by 50% for that health, compared to just normal health. Armor health now reduces all damage by 30% instead of flatly reducing it by 5 points. And the last tech that fully depletes a hero's armor will have its damage reduced by the armor dynamically. Higher damage attacks being reduced less. Can you tell I copy and pasted that? I copy and pasted that from the Overwatch website. It's extremely fucking dry. I needed to take 2 sips of water in between reading that. That was fucking horrible. Yeah, so they don't really make their information palatable because they kind of hope that people won't read it and instead will play the game just to complain about it later. Even they don't proofread it. Believe me, they don't. So for Orisa, you know her shield? No. She has a javelin now, so she can throw it to do crowd control, essentially replacing the grabby orb. Yeah. None of these will have official names. I think it's more entertaining that way. If I remember it, I remember it. If I don't, I don't. Speaking of the shield, she's basically a mix between Genji's Deflect and Sigma Absorption in that when she spins her spear, she blocks virtually everything. In fact, it's so inclusive that I'm not entirely sure what she doesn't block without looking up. Wait, let me just... Okay, so it's basically just erasing Genji Deflect, except it deletes or deflects things to the side or pushes them in front of her rather than back at the enemy. She still has fortification, and for her ultimate, instead of a supercharger, she just kind of... Yeah, she just kind of pulls in enemies after long duration, slams back down. She is like a Reinhardt McCree, Cassidy. For Bastion, his sentry mode and self-repair were taken away. God, I don't like that. I still don't. In turn, he gets an A36 tactical grenade. Yeah, in the distant future where you have fucking sentient robots, you wanna know what they use? Yeah, just fucking grenades. Lob that shit. Genji and Tracer mains can cope. He now has an assault mode, which is like sentry mode, but you can move. Don't need to reload, and can still use that tactical grenade thing while playing. His ultimate is now called Artillery, which, as you might assume, just kind of Brigida doesn't sell anymore. L. McCree, Cassidy, no flashbang. Instead, some magnetic grenade that, by God's will and power, goes wherever the fuck it pleases and fucks up your aim. And God, please add some consistency to combat roll. Now has 50% damage reduction. Doomfist. He's a tank now. His rising uppercut was removed and replaced with a block that powers up your next rocket punch. No one ever used the uppercut anyways. No one. We got a tank named Junker Queen and a healer named Kiriko. Not adding those. This video is already going to be a bit long and it's a whole ass recap, baby. May was buffed. Hooray. There's no freezy stun though. They really got rid of stuns in this game aside from Hook and Honest Sleep Dart, which I kind of like because I vividly have nightmares about McCree, Ana, Doomfist, and Roadhog in the first game. So many nightmares. Oh, right. A DPS hero named Sojourn is the thing. Also not going over that, as her abilities are a little difficult to explain, especially in a technical detail, which this video definitely is. Technical. Very accurate. Anyways, as I was saying, Sombra was made more annoying. She can go invisible 50% faster. Sombra's attacks will do 40% more damage to enemies. Though this will be nerfed down to 25% as of the update that was released the day this video was made. She can hack while invisible and her cooldown for hacking was halved. Oh, and she can chain hack targets. But after this most recent patch, it's not a thing. Was a feature, by the way. Not a glitch. Very balanced. Symmetra, no. Genji, his ass is 50% bigger. Beautiful shit. Winston, hey, you remember DevComp? Oh, you still have nightmares about it? Good news! Winston now has a secondary fire that can hit you from afar, dealing 50 damage. Yup. Zarya. She has 2 barriers still, but you can choose what you place them on. Be it one on you, one on an ally, or 2 to either. She can also flashbang players.
Oh, why is her beam so fucking bright? I can't see shit with a fucking...
Zenyatta. And that catches you up to speed. Yeah. That's the video. So to finish. Not including the newest nerfs or anything. I know it's a hot topic. And while I'm jumping on the train, this honestly has been done death. I don't know how to feel about it. Honestly, Overwatch 2... It's a cash grab. It's blamed. There's not really much to discuss about it. I feel that it's kind of needlessly done at this point. Not really too much of a reason to constantly go over something that's already established. So I'm just gonna leave it here. This is an kind of update video. If you are starting Overwatch 1, you want to get into Overwatch 2, you want to get briefed on all the changes, I feel that this video will be for you. If you have a friend who you want to get into Overwatch 2, don't recommend him this video. It is not the best. It's my attempt at a video that's just kind of along the lines of what I'm wanting this channel to go towards. I'm not used to reading a script, if you can't tell. I'm used to just kind of ad-libbing it. I hop in and I do the thing. But this video is kind of where I want to go with my channel. If you like this kind of content, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It supports me quite a bit. It tells me what you guys do or don't like. Feel free to drop a comment. I'm gonna make sure to read all of them and I'll likely reply to them, depending on what type of comment it is. Oh, shit. This 15-minute video, it's gonna be a lot of editing. Fick.